What's up, Wanna Coffee fam? It's Kai, and we are back. We will have weekly contributions from strangers all over the world discussing various topics chosen by yours truly. And this is the first time these contributors have spoken to one another, so you are in for a real treat. Without further ado, here's Christian and Nikita with social media and celebrity access.
Yes, she's here. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Christian, and we are here to talk. Go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm sorry.
Hey, Kristen. My name is Nikita, and today we are talking about, I believe, celebrities and
Celebrity access and social media.
yes, celebrity access and social media. For me, I'm not a celebrity, but I can resonate with this idea of I feel like we have as regular people too much access to them in a way that we never really had before. Like before, I'm dating myself, but when I was growing up, if you wanted to know about celebrities, you had to watch Inside Edition or Access Hollywood or read People magazine to kind of. I remember growing up, I was really fascinated with celebrity birthdays. So
Mhm.
I used to, in USA Today, parades. I think they had like this little thing in parades in the USA Today on the weekends. And I would just look at who were the celebrities for the week and what they were doing. And that was your access. But now that we have this social media and it's just a platform for people to just do and say whatever we feel comes to our mind when it comes to celebrities. So that's kind of like, wow, um, just a little bit too much, in my opinion. I don't know how you
No,
feel.
no, no. I feel that. I feel like you didn't date yourself because I feel the same way. I feel like yesteryear when if I were obsessed with celebrity, I would get like the little Jet magazine or the Bop magazine and like read it up. And I don't even think I'd watched it on TV as much as I would truly just go through the magazines and read the little, stories that they had there. But I will say, like, these magazines and stuff have existed forever, and like there's always been like secrets and celebrities, like who's gay, who's not. So I love that now, yes, there is more access, but at the same time, yes, there is a certain accountability and account of like there's a sense of like, well, being a celebrity is being in front of the public's eye, so going into the career that you are going to be looked at and judged. And I think there are so many celebrities that can skate away and either not have those social media platforms and just not post, or just live their lives freely. But the people that do tend to play into the game get caught up in different rounds and different things. So I think that yes, the access is there, but I mean, with technology, there is going to be these strides in access regardless. Like what you can find out about celebrities is crazy because you can also find out about regular people. Like I don't think I mean, I don't think I'm a celebrity, but I act like a celebrity all the time. But the other day, so I'm a property manager, and now part of my gig is to get a lot of calls from vendors who are like, "Hi, are you looking for a new security guard? Hi, are you looking for a new this? Hi." And I'm like, "No, I like mine. Robert's great. No, I like mine. Alma's great. No, I'm fine." But they call me on the office. They call me on my work cell. Those are phone
Mm.
numbers that are listed with my property. The other day I get a call on my cell phone, my personal cell phone, mind
Mhm.
you. And this guy's like, "Hey, I'm a broker. I'm following up on an email that I sent you." And on my personal cell, I was like, "Oh my God, an email you sent me. What does this mean? Is this a new job? Like, oh my God, am I going to be on a commercial? Who are you?" He's like, "No, like I'm following up. I'm trying to get you rentals." He was like, "Ew, how did you get my personal cell?" He's like, "I Googled you." I was like, "Ew, you Googled me and you found my personal cell phone and you thought to call me and ask me about work on my personal cell?" He's like,
Oh my
yeah, dude, I
God.
always verify on Google. I was like, ew, that is creepy. I'm going to hang up. You can call me on the office. If you know where I work, then you can look that number up too. And I hung up. Sure enough, in like 20 minutes, he then calls and I'm like, oh my God, hi there. How are you? No, not interested. We don't work with brokers. But I'm just like, that's creepy. And then I was like, wow, invasion. Like now that we're talking this, I was like, wow, invasion of privacy. If I was a celebrity, I would be definitely Alec, what's his name? Alec Baldwin, and throw whatever at people and fight with people. Or no, not Alec Baldwin. Who threw a cell phone at her assistant?
Oh, that was Naomi Campbell.
I'd be Naomi Campbell. I'd
Yeah.
be Naomi Campbell and all these bitches and losing cell phones every day.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. Even like you said, we are just all exposed and have all this access. I remember getting a call on my work job from like the doctor, not even my doctor's office. It was just they were trying to sell me some type of insurance, but I'm like, how did you find me at work? It's like it's a crazy thing. But it wasn't even, I think it was just a couple of days ago. I don't know if you heard about like Issa Rae. This random woman puts this post up and she's like the fat Issa Rae, and there's a picture of her smiling, and then she's like, well, I'm not into Issa Rae because I'm not trying to F her and I'm not trying to work with her, so I don't care what people think. And I mean, she just went on this rant about Issa Rae's look, calling her ugly and this and that, and I'm just like, what? Like, just to get to that point where you're just like, here's this woman. She has like, I mean, she started off as a regular person too,
Yeah.
as I don't know if you know Issa Rae, the screenwriter. And well, I
I
mean,
love
she's
Issa Rae,
more than a screenwriter now,
obviously.
but
Yeah, she's executive producer. Like,
yeah, she's
true.
making, got 6-figure salary, but
Exactly.
you
She's
know,
gold. She's gold.
yeah, she used to be accessible. She's a little
Right.
probably more busy now. So
Right.
I don't think I can just hit her up on, email or something. Be like,
Oh, I will.
hey.
I tweet at her like nothing, like we besties. No, I don't care.
Well, she might respond because
Yeah,
this person
that part.
tagged her. And I'm like, okay, if you want to say how you feel, why did you tag her? And I'm like, at what point are we as regular people, it's almost to a point where we don't see them as human. We see them as something that we own. Like, we own them. We have the right to invade every aspect of their life. And to the point where we have celebrities that have to tell us everything. Like, okay, you're a celebrity and you have this outward appearance and you baby have a husband and you this. And that's fine. But now, okay, you and your husband separated for a little bit, but you ain't tell us. Now we got a whole entanglement. We got all of these things, and we're all in it. We're all in
We're in it for the
their
drama.
lives, in their drama. And I'm like,
I'm like,
if we spent half as much.
No, 100. Go.
Huh?
No, go.
Oh, if we spent half as much time on our own stuff as we do invading everybody else's lives, it's ridiculous. And it makes you don't want to be a celebrity. I'm like, you expect, for your life to be on blogs and everything, but you don't expect from John and Jacob and all of them to feel like they can comment about how your life is and who you're with. And then on top of that, they get crazy. They start going after your family members.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like two immediately things come to mind, being the Free Britney movement. Like literally the world has been obsessed with Britney from the time that this little girl came out on stage. And now to see what the world has done to her, like she literally was a woman caught in between her father telling her what to do and her husband or her ex-husband taking her baby daddy, taking full possession of her children. And I think anybody with the world watching you, with cameras flashing all the time saying whatever, I would throw umbrellas, I would shave my head, I would go off because I wouldn't know how else to react. It's like, you want a show, here's the show, there it's now, stop looking, now let me live my life. You got your picture you wanted, you got your gift, have at it, bye, you'll be paying me, I'll be paying you, bye. All of that shit that we're doing to her. Literally, she's right now, in my personal opinion, she's crying for her life because we've seen what this does to celebrities of yesteryear, when all we did was judge them, and the machine, like Judy Garland, the machine factory, made them to be people pleasers until the very, very end. Now this girl, this poor woman who means so much to so many people in so many different communities, but this poor woman is truly just saying, I want to live my life and that's it. And she's become such a spectacle that now you have people are like, oh my God, I want her to live her life. Like, I'll never do anything for you. And then the other people, well, I need to make money off of her life. Like, she is a money making machine. So it's like all of these conversations at the end of the day are about this poor woman's life. And like, literally, it's
Mm-hmm.
because of us and the access that we've been given to celebrities, to people like her. And then the other thing I think of
Yeah, and
is like drag queens on RuPaul's Drag Race, how they're constantly saying how, yeah,
mm-hmm.
you know what, you can go ahead and comment on me and you can say whatever you want about my drag. Fuck you. I don't need to follow you. I can block you. But don't DM my mother. Don't DM my cousins.
Yes.
Like, don't fucking
Oh
like
my
spread
goodness.
racist shit to them. Fuck you. That's fucking disgusting. Like, I hate that there are so many colored
Mm-hmm.
queens that family members are getting hate. That is sick. I hate that, I'm a part of the gay community, and that part of that community includes people like that, because it's truly disgusting. No, no, none of us should ever be spreading hate to local artists that are just spreading their local art and love.
Yeah, and not even that. Even I mean, well, of course that, but I even think of it was this guy. He was a basketball player. Now, I could see if it's LeBron James or you know Kevin Durant or somebody that's well known. But this
Both of them
kid is
are.
he yeah. Yeah, but is this one he's on I think he's on what team is that? New York Knicks. And he is playing off he's in the starting lineup and maybe he's not the best, but people are literally going after his mother, his sisters, and they're commenting and calling him and talking about how he needs to be benched and all this other stuff. And it's like, as fans, is it where do you cross the line? When do you like go too far? I'm like, this kid didn't ask to be a celebrity, and everybody who plays ball isn't necessarily on celebrity status. He probably could go to the grocery store and maybe a couple of people know who he is. Maybe people know him, maybe they don't. But he's not, he didn't ask for this fame. All he's doing is his career, which is playing basketball. And why do we feel like we need to reach out and find? I mean, that takes a lot of work. Like, you got to do research to go and find these person's family members and then go after them. And I don't know if you've been hearing about this guy Kwame Brown. He's been in the media lately. It was this guy who he was a basketball player and he was drafted years ago. I can't even remember what year, but he wasn't necessarily the best at the time. But this was back in the time at the time when they were still letting kids go
High school.
from being, going straight from high school, yeah, and not going to college. And so he was 17. And people called him up. Michael Jordan drafted him to be on his team. What doing he? I think he owned the Wizards or
Michael
whatever the
Jordan
team
owns
was.
a team.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. But
Okay.
he's the one, he's the only one that,
uh,
of that caliber that owns a team. But yeah, so he drafted this kid and they didn't work out. So lately it was a bunch of other people who were his peers. I guess they were talking about him on a podcast. And these are his peers. And they was like, yeah, he was basically calling him trash. And so he hears it. This man has been out of the spotlight for about 10, 15, 12 years, 18 years. He's been out of the spotlight forever. And they're talking about him. So he gets on and now he feel like he has to defend himself and he's calling out all these people who are talking about him. And then the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne the God and all these, they're on their podcast, on their radio station, and they're talking about him. And then one of the hosts, Charlamagne the God, he starts to go into talking about this man's personal life. Like, he was like, yeah, and his father was this and he murdered this, and his brother did that and he murdered this person and da da da. So don't mess with him. All this other stuff, and it's like, wow, no one asked you about that. Like, he says he came from his hometown. So like, no one knew these things about this man. Like, I wouldn't have known that if you hadn't said it. So, and you telling us to leave him alone, but you spilling all this information about him. It's like you're adding fuel to the fire. You're doing exactly what you're telling people to leave him alone, but you just gave everybody ammunition to talk
right,
about
yeah,
this man
everybody's gonna
even
have to
more,
have an
to
opinion.
judge him.
They're listening. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, wow. And I'm like, how many people are we going to have to tear down? And I'm like, instead of us rallying around this young man, this young, African American kid who was 17, he was a kid, and we judged him so harshly. And even to this day, we're still judging him. And now people are looking at him like, oh, he's crazy, he's overreacting. But I'm like, is it? I'm like, why don't we rally around him? We're rallying around Brittany.
Ding, ding.
Brittany was a young girl, and all this stuff was happening to her growing up in the industry. Why aren't we rallying around him? We're just calling him crazy.
Right.
So,
No, no, thank
I
you. Thank you. I know I had no
yeah.
idea. I mean, I'm really not at all involved in anything sports wise. Yeah, I can't even think of.
I'm not either,
But
but my fiance is really is. So I'm by default.
dang,
I'm engaged by default.
thank you.
But it's been a big one because it spilled over from sports and everyone is talking about it. And I'm like, just leave him alone. He was fine. He was minding his business. He was raising his children. He was just being out of the spotlight. And, here we go. We bring people in and we talk about, and then I just see back and forth. I think Holly Berry even had a situation where everybody was trying to tell her, well, what you need to do is your problem is maybe it's you that you can't keep a man. And I was like, and she was like, who said I wanted to be kept?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Wow. And that was like maybe a few months ago.
What? I will say everybody has to have their opinion and everybody has to think that we need to know what their opinion is. And it's like, why? Who are you to tell me that I'm doing it wrong or that you would do it this way? Okay, well, are you the expert at doing things? Like I did not see I have not read any of your reports. I have not subscribed to you. I don't even follow you on Twitter. Like, why am I supposed to listen to you? And I think that people just forget that unsolicited advice
Mm-hmm.
is still unsolicited. It's nobody asked for any of it. Like when you just don't need it. Like go and have your opinions. Go ahead and have fun at
Yeah.
the barbershop or at the beauty salon or at the nail salon or wherever you have your fun and spill your tea. But to do that public forum just doesn't work. Oh, are we losing? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I just yeah, I think it was I think it went out a little bit, but I think we're here.
Ding ding.
We're here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes, the internet does its thing.
I know. What the
But
hell? I'm
I
gonna 5G.
definitely think that oh I don't know. I feel like I went up to dial up at some point, the way the internet is going. But overall, I think people need to mind their business and just think if you don't want people to do that, which that was the thing with the Issa Rae girl. Now she's all upset because people are coming for her. I was like, but you wanted to reach out, you wanted to tag a celebrity. Well, guess what? This celebrity has millions of followers, and the celebrity doesn't have to say anything because the
Correct.
millions of followers. You know about the Beehive.
Oh
They don't
yes.
say anything about Beyonce. Oh my goodness. I'm
Exactly.
afraid of the Beehive, and I'm like, nope,
Me
nope, nope,
too.
nope.
Me too. Lord forbid I not think a Beyonce song is a bop because yeesh, I'll get stung quick.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. So I think that celebrities, even though they're celebrities, they are still humans. And we forget that when they're grieving, let them grieve. Like, a normal person, if someone dies, we can, it's hard enough to deal with it. But just imagine you're seeing it all on the news.
Yeah.
Everybody, and then if someone does, don't tag them, because if you have all your fans tagging you, pictures of you and your husband before he was killed in a plane crash or airplane, with the Kobe thing. And I was like, how can you grieve
Oh yeah.
when
Didn't
every
his wife
minute of
have to
every
like mute
day,
everything?
everybody was, yeah,
Yeah, she had to mute
it's
everything.
crazy mhm, because it gets to be too much. It's like people, and then everyone has something to say. Well, what about this? And have you talked to his parents? And then it's like you've become the next relative, and you're giving that advice, like that cousin that you hardly ever talk to wants to tell you how to raise your children, or or how the person who's been divorced or can't keep a man, or wants to tell you what you should do in your marriage to be happy. All these things. It's like, why? We focus on ourselves. If we spend as much energy on ourselves as we do trying to tell other people how to live their lives, we would be all in a better position.
Oh my gosh. Amen. Amen. Jeez, how many times do you hear, oh, that's too tight, or oh, don't wear that? It's like, what? I mean, and that's just like your self voice. And then you're literally going to walk around and now hear that from everybody else on everything. It's like, are you serious? Yes. And now as a celebrity, that times 10, because you have to be clocked in all the time. Like I can only imagine, I can only like literally hate myself for being part of that problem if I ever have been. And I apologize to anybody if I've ever called them out on social media thinking that I know them. But I mean, I would love to serve.
I'm very cautious.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm like trying to think, oh my God.
I keep my Twitter very clean. Like I don't even follow. I see tweets, but all the people that I follow are all literary people, like they're writers. And even when it goes crazy in the writing world, they was like, did you hear what happened to Junot Diaz? I'm like, wait, what? It was like Twitter was all the glow in the literary world. I was like, I didn't expect this. This is not like celebrity Twitter. This is like publishers and an author's Twitter. Is just a little different. But yes, scandal happens. Let Roxane Gay said something bad about her. Yes. And I was like, wow, literaries can go hard because they got words, and their words can really cut you. And those little how many characters you get. It's like I could tear you down with my words. How are we looking on time?
No, we're good. We are hitting it. I think we're like at we're like 15 seconds left. So, I mean, okay. We did good.
Well, I think we did good. I think that was a great conversation.
I know.
I think the takeaway is just really
focus on self. Mind your business. Yes.
Mind your business and focus on self.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Christian, it was great talking to you. And hopefully, I don't know, because it's strangers with coffee. So I don't know, want a coffee may not. But hey, if ever again,
exactly.
Always willing to talk to you.
Oh my gosh. Well, then hopefully we'll cross again.
Okay. You take care.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, team.
I must admit, I don't know about you, but I think we have too much access to celebrities, and I don't think social media helps that at all. Thanks a lot for the discourse, guys. That's it for us, folks. Catch us next week for a brand new episode with brand new contributors. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at WannaCoffeePod. That's WannaCoffeePod. I'm your host, Kai, and let's wanna coffee next week. Cheers. Oh my God, orange is not my new black.